Hello friends, it has been so long since I vlogged and since we caught up. I literally think the last time I filmed was like last summer, which is so crazy, but I'm excited to be back. Fingers crossed I can keep doing these videos for a while and stick to it. I have a lot of fun life changes coming up that we're in the midst of right now. And today is Sunday and I'm at home just doing some work on my personal brand, prepping some stuff, and also doing some work for clients. So I figured, why not sit down and do a little chatty Q&A and catch up? Okay, I've got some questions here that I wrote down that people have asked recently, and I'm gonna go over them with you guys today. So the first one was, can you just give a quick little about me and like your story, which I've never done anything quick in my entire life. So this will be a practice in doing that. I'm gonna try to give you just like a quick rundown. Hi, I'm Anne. I am 27 years old, coming up on 28 in July. Super excited. I'm a Leo, so very excited for my birthday. I grew up on the East Coast in upstate New York and then moved to California almost 4 years ago now, and I have absolutely loved it so far. I started doing social media in I would say 2015, basically like when Instagram became popular, but when I really started putting my effort into it was probably 2018. I started a class actually for college that was about blogging, and so I started a blog and then I started putting more effort into my Instagram, and I have been doing that now since 2018, so forever. And I absolutely love it. I am such a creative person at heart, so it brings me so much joy. And I'm also a person who loves sharing things and connecting with people. So I love being here, and I love that you guys are here too. Okay, I literally already got distracted and didn't answer the question. So a little about me, what else can I say? For work, I currently work in freelance social media for other clients. Also for myself, I consider myself a client, which is the only way that I can stick with Instagram, because if I just post whenever I want, I literally can't do it. I have to treat myself like a client. And then I have a bunch of other clients too. Most of them are in interior design, and that's the industry I started in. And yeah, what else? What else do you want to know about me? My hobbies, I am big into crafting, love collecting shells and spending time at the beach, snorkeling, all of that, traveling, everything. I'm very much a homebody, but I also like to get out of the house and explore new things. And I definitely find that my mental health, if I haven't done something new in a while, I can feel it. So I need to explore new places, try new things. I love a little bit of change, which is so ironic because growing up, I was the person who hated change, but look at me now. Okay, the next question we have is, where did you grow up? Which I kind of touched on briefly. I grew up on the East Coast in upstate New York in a little town, not so little now, called Saratoga Springs. We're famous for our horse racing and the turning point of the Revolutionary War, which my East Coast friends will get that. My West Coast friends are I know nothing about the Revolutionary War, but that's a big deal. But yeah, I grew up there. I absolutely loved it. My childhood was so magical. I truly feel so blessed. I have such a wonderful family and had such a great childhood, but I hate winter and I hate the cold. So that's why I moved to California. And yeah, I have absolutely loved living in California, and I loved where I grew up at the same time. So, okay, the next question that I got is a super nice question that I've been getting a lot lately, which is, how are you doing really? And I have talked about this with a lot of people, but I have a hard time really sharing how I'm doing on social media because I kind of want to keep it separate, to be completely honest. I view my social media as a very creative and inspirational place, and I don't feel super comfortable with people knowing the ins and outs of my life. But I've been trying to be a little bit better about that too and share with you guys, because I know that every time I do share stuff that I'm going through, you guys are so supportive and you're I'm going through that too. Thank you so much for sharing. I feel less alone. So I definitely am torn on this. But back to the question, how are you doing really? I would say I'm doing okay, on the better side. I haven't really talked about it before, and I filmed so many videos, but I can never get through them fully. So I'm just gonna dump this in here right now. Last year in the fall, I went through a really, really hard time and actually ended up having a mental breakdown, like not the like cutesy, funny, haha, mentee B kind, but like the actual kind, and ended up in the hospital just because like life was too much to handle, and I had been going through so much over the past year, like losing friendships, going through a breakup, moving, starting a new job, considering leaving that job, like trying to figure out everything, and went through a mentee B in like the late fall. And I'm out of breath because I don't know how to pause when I'm talking. But in the fall, that all happened, and it was such like a wake-up call. I ended up going on medication. I went on Lexapro, which like I haven't shared about because it's very taboo, but like, yeah, I'm on Lexapro and it saved my life. So I'll be honest about that with you guys. But ever since then, I've been doing so much better. And it just really like showed me how many people really truly care about me and were there for me and like stood up when I needed them most, which I appreciated so much. But now I am definitely like going through a lot of life changes. Like I said, I've had some friends move away. I might be moving. My lease ends in California in August, and I'm not like 100% sure where I'm going, what I'm doing, and like that's really scary but also really exciting at the same time, because to be completely honest, I haven't like loved living in Orange County. I lived in San Diego before, absolutely loved it, moved to Orange County for a job, didn't love it all that much, and then ended up leaving that job. And so I know that Orange County isn't where I want to be, but I don't know, is California where I want to be? Do I want to move back home? Do I want to travel? What do I want to do? I don't know. So there's a lot up in the air right now. So overall, I would say I'm doing good, but it's definitely like a lot. That was like a little deep for me. So we're gonna like do a fun question next. What are your favorite quotes that inspire you? That was a question I got recently that I love. I am such a quotes person. I have like a whole page on my Pinterest that's just quotes. I swear it has probably like thousands. And I feel like I'm definitely a person who like leans into different quotes and affirmations and manifestations at different points in my life. And the one that I keep coming back to lately is, now that you don't have to be perfect, you can be good. I am such a person who's like struggled with trying to be so perfect and like not starting things because they're not to the level I want them to be. And I have to remind myself that like as a person, as humans, we like are inherently imperfect, and that's the beauty of us, and that's the beauty of life. And now that I've like really changed that mindset, I feel like I've just started to enjoy life so much more. And it's also helped me on social media, because before I like wouldn't share things because they weren't good enough. And now I'm sharing more of like my everyday and things that inspire me. And I feel like everyone's like loving it because it's just very authentic. And so yeah, I've been loving that quote lately. Okay, my two next questions I'm gonna like kind of answer together because they kind of go together. And they're, how did you make the move to California? And then what do you do for work? So this is another story that's very long, but I'm gonna try to like bundle it up into a little story. So I, like I said, have always been a super creative person growing up. I did photography from like a very young age when my grandfather gifted me his like fancy camera, and I had always loved it. And throughout high school, I always felt like I didn't want to go to college because like I didn't know what I wanted to do. But I grew up in a pretty affluent community and I had very good grades. So it was like kind of just the thing that you do, you go to college, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I felt very lost and like I really didn't want to go to college. I ended up going to a local university. I say local, but we have like SUNY schools in New York, which are the State University of New York. And I went to SUNY Oneonta for a year. I got a full scholarship there for accounting, and I did accounting for my first semester. And then I was like, okay, I'm good at this and it's easy because it's math, and I've always been good at math, but like I am not enjoying this and I can't see myself sitting at a desk doing accounting for people for the rest of my life. So I ended up pivoting my major to marketing because in my head, I was like, okay, that's still like a real job. I wanted a major that I knew I could still get a job in, but was also creative and I could pivot around within the industry. So I went to school for marketing. I ended up going home after my first year at SUNY Oneonta because I hated it, and I went to an online 4-year college for a little bit in the interim before I like decided where I wanted to transfer. I ended up getting a job locally and then finished out my 4 years just living at home. And then after I graduated, I was working for a friend of mine and I absolutely loved my job, but I kept feeling like pulled that there was more for me out there. And I knew that like the distance between graduation and getting your first job in the industry is like very important. So I began looking for jobs and I knew that I either wanted to live in Charleston, South Carolina, or California. I kind of prayed about it a lot and was like, where do I want to end up? Let me know, God, tell me where I should go. And I was so strongly called to California. Shortly after that, I landed a job in Santa Barbara as a marketing coordinator at a small interior design firm. I worked there for 10 or 11 months. And then I wanted to move to San Diego, couldn't find a job, so I ended up being like, okay, I guess I'll start my own business. That's a whole story in itself. But I ended up leaving that job, going freelance, was freelance for 2 years, doing social media for clients, and then went in-house for one of my main social media clients for just about a year, and then decided to go back freelance. I don't know where I was going with that. I get distracted so easily, oh my God. Okay, so I left that job and now I'm back freelance. I'm working with a bunch of social media clients and absolutely loving it. And yeah, so that's the story of how I moved to California and what I do for work. Okay, I can already feel this video getting so long because I can't stop talking or keep a train of thought. My friends always make fun of me because I'll talk and then stop talking and I'll be like, also, my friend Abby is always like, you don't have to say also to like start another thought. Like it doesn't have to be continuous. You can just start a new conversation. But anyway, my last question that I'm gonna answer today is 3 tips for social media growth. I've had a lot of friends reach out and be like, how do you do this? How do you get into this? How do you build a community? Blah, 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 blah. Like, I feel like everyone wants to do this. And I feel like people are also very taboo about like doing social media, whether it's for clients, whether it's for yourself. Sorry, I'm a hand talker. I just realized that I've been flailing my hands around this whole time. But anyway, I wanted to give you guys some tips for social media growth, both like as a person who does it for clients and as a person who does it for themselves. So my first tip, and this is the tip I give literally absolutely everyone, is that you need to be consistent. And I know that's really, really hard for a lot of people, but you need to be consistent. And when I say that, that does not mean that you need to be posting every single day. If you can handle posting every single day, then go for it. But consistency comes down to like knowing what you can handle and sticking to it. Because the more you stick to it, the more that your followers expect things of you and know when to like check your account because they know when you're gonna be posting. So whether you're able to post once a week, whether you're able to post once every 2 weeks, whether you're able to post every single day, just pick a cadence that works for you and that you can stick to. Because the more that you stick to it, the more that your followers pay attention and the more that Instagram pays attention and knows that you're coming back at the same time every time, if that makes sense. Another tip that I have, which I tell everyone, is to be authentically you. That is the best thing you can do for your business, your brand, everything. Your unique niche is the fact that there's no one like you. There's no one that thinks like you. There's no one that dresses exactly like you. There's no one that talks exactly like you. That is your superpower. It's okay to be inspired by other people, but it's not sustainable to like copy other people. So find out who you are and share about that, and trust that like you will find people who are similar to you. And the more you share about things that you truly love, the more you'll find your community. My last tip would be to schedule. I don't know a single person in their right mind who could be on social media every single day and come up with the ideas that day, film the ideas that day, or execute the ideas that day, make a caption, post it, everything. Like that to me is just not sustainable. So I always do for myself and my clients, I set aside certain days to do certain things so that I don't fall behind. For example, before I was freelance and when I was working a 9 to 5, my Saturday mornings from 7 a.m. to like 1 p.m. were set for doing all of my personal content. I would film, you can ask my roommate. I would not let her into the living room because I can't film in front of other people. So I'd be like, this is the time that I am filming and doing all of this stuff. And when you have a set time and treat your own social media like it is truly a business, it really helps you stay consistent and make sure that you're like prioritizing it. Because if it's super important to you, then you need to set aside time to do it. I think we need to wrap it up because I feel like this is gonna be such a long video. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for being here. I'm so excited to be back. If you have any other questions, drop them below and I can do another one of these soon. But anyway, thank you for being here. I love you guys and I'll talk soon. Bye.